Hello, dear friends. I have a very big surprise for you. This evening, we just arrived in Belgium to a good friend and very, very famous fancier, sorry for my English, I must adapt it. Yuri de Blanc. We have a visit in the springtime.
Yeah, exactly.
In the springtime,
Yeah.
you can see the video, and I must come back to learn more from Yuri. Honestly, what I found here to Yuri, you cannot find in many lofts in the world, and I honestly told you this. A loft built to one
Yeah.
cock, one family pigeons, a dream for each of us. Most of us have a mix of pigeons, but here it's a lot of quality. So if you are interested about our first visit, we are going to repeat it one more, what we discussed on that time.
Yeah.
You just scroll
Yeah.
till around May or June we was here.
Yeah, we presented some
Yeah.
basic pigeons.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And now I have in my hand a very nice and a very famous pigeon. But Yuri, please introduce.
Yeah, so this is Star Julien. So he's a grandson of the one cock. He's a grandson of Julien. Himself flew first national Libourne, which is 720 kilometers. It was a tough race. So he was the first national. That was only the third national race he flew. The other two he did also very well. So, but more importantly, in 2 years now, because he's only on the breeding loft in 2020, he already bred 3 very good youngsters, 2 sisters, and then another hen, which you also know. But the 2 other ones, one of the 2 sisters flew 15th National Ace Marathon in Belgium last year, and the other one, which I will show later, has flew 6th National Libourne. So in 2 years' time, he has already 3 good children bred, which is good. So I think he will be a very promising breeder. I hope so. Yeah, but he's a very nice pigeon. Yeah? He's a very nice pigeon. Yeah.
What I can tell you, it's impressive pigeon.
Yeah, he's great.
It's
yeah,
not a
super.
very nice. You see,
Yeah,
very active.
yeah.
They don't like to
Yeah,
stay in
it's
hand.
true. Yeah. He has a very nice eye, very thick feathered, strong muscle. Yeah, it's a great pigeon. Yeah. One of my favorites.
One of the most beautiful pigeon which I ever
Yeah.
see. But
Yeah.
honestly, when I was last time here, and please watch the first video.
Yeah.
Yuri bring us, I think 10 or 12
Yeah,
pigeons.
yeah.
All was the same. All was the same. Huh?
Yeah, because they are family, of course. So, yeah.
I was here on that time with a colleague, Doru Sabo from Romania, and he was the movie maker.
Yeah.
And after he saw the pigeons in the way back with the car,
Yeah.
he said, Marius, I go at home, I kill all my pigeons and I buy 2 from Yuri.
Yeah. But yeah, as they are family, Marius, of course they are very resembling. Yeah.
Yuri, before you show us some other champions from this year, when
Yes.
again you play very well, how you do the selection of the pigeons?
Yeah.
I think it's important to each of us learn about the selection.
Yeah. So yeah, first of all, I think results are important. I have to make a distinction between the selection of my own pigeons, and sometimes I try to buy 1 or 2 pigeons per year to cross, to not have too much inbred. For my own pigeons, they have to have a good result. I know where they are coming from, so I only have 12 couples of breeders. All of them flew top 10 national mainly. So I know parents are already good performers. And then I also select on the races, but also on the feeling. Yeah. And so all my pigeons will have thick feather, and which is for me mainly important next to the result is also the shoulder. Yeah. Because here where I live, I need to have tough conditions to be first national. So they have to fly 8, 9, 10, 11 hours. And they can only do so when they have, I can show you if you want, Marius. I look at this thickness. So this is the thickness of the shoulder. As you can feel here, it's like almost, here the muscle is like 1 centimeter. It should be it should be very thick. And then also the arm has to be close to the body. Otherwise they cannot fly 8-9 hours against wind. When there is a headwind, you need pigeons thick, short forearm and close to the body. Otherwise you cannot do that. So speed pigeons, they can be good, but they will not have this wing like he has. So, and you can feel that. So if this is close to the body, you can feel it. Here you have a bone, which is also going here. So it's the same bone. I think you know that. And this has to be as close as possible to the body, because then with headwind, they can fly like this. If the wing is far away, they have to do like that, and they don't keep it 3 or 4 hours. And if it's strong, then they can make speed for 10, 11, 12, 13 hours in a row. And all my birds have this.
And you do that from the youngsters?
Yes. Yes. Of course, I have to be honest. When I started to play well 6 years ago, 5 years ago, I breed 100 youngsters. I had to kill 10 youngsters. Now all my young birds have this because I select year after year after year after year. And so this is, and then of course they have to be closed, but they don't have to be 100% closed. But the back has to be strong. They don't have to be closed fan bones. They can be slightly open, but as you can see, this one, you will not move. So it has to be strong. And then, the muscle is also important. But I think this is the most important thing. And then for the breeders, so this is for my racing birds. So they have to have all these things. So good wing, muscle, good back, good result. And for my breeders, I only put them on my breeding loft when they can fly a top 10 national result in Belgium. And preferably in hard condition. Like this one, first national, I have the second international, Bordeaux, I have the third national. So all my breeders are not only descendants from the one cock Julien which you mentioned, but they also perform well. And I think that's important. I think most people like pedigree. I also like pedigree, but to see if parents are family or if the bird is coming from a family or not. And also parents have to race, or at least one parent has to have good racing results. And if not, it should be a top breeder. But I prefer top racer. And grandparents also 2 or 3 top racers. So I don't like to...
Full pedigree.
Yeah, but for me that's the pedigree. So I don't... you see a lot of, that pedigrees, grandson of, or with famous names, but then the parents didn't race. The grandparents didn't race. I mean, this is a lottery ticket you buy. I prefer to have parents raised and grandparents also, and a family also. So that's my opinion. And then if I buy something, which doesn't happen a lot because I do inbreeding, but you can't go too far with inbreeding. But I look also that the parents race, are their brother or sisters which race well, that the grandparents race. So for me that's the pedigree, and not the name which is in the pedigree. And these are for me the 2 main criteria, Marius. So I look at the racing results and look of my own birds, and if it's another one which happens, I look at if it's a good family, if parents race or not. Even inbred, yeah, I think inbred also parents should have been racing.
The best case.
Yes, so that's my opinion. Yeah. So and
Impressive pigeon.
yeah, and also I like to select pigeons when race was tough. So I sometimes have a good result on 300 kilometer, but for me that's not that important. But if I know it's 700 kilometer and was a hot day with headwind, then I can say everybody who's coming after the 300 national today, I will not keep.
Yeah.
Yes, because with my yearlings I can do that. So like for example in 2020 there was Souillac, 700 kilometer, a warm day, and then after I had 40 birds in race, I had a very good result. I think 16 or 17 pigeons in the 201st national. But after half an hour I said, now all my yearlings who come later, which didn't have a significant result before, I kill. And then I do that the evening myself. I go with my basket, then my wife knows, yeah, there he goes again. And then I take all pigeons coming too late, because these are honest races.
So you think the hard race in the hot and headwind are the race to select the real pigeons?
Yes, but
that's your opinion.
Yes, that's my opinion, and also because I live here in Belgium, not at the end. I live in the beginning of Belgium, in the middle. I only can play first national when there is a headwind and warm. So if it's 1600 meters flight, I cannot win. So I don't select my pigeons at that.
Okay.
So it's also my opinion, but also because I live where I live here. You understand? Yeah.
So it's the right selection for your position.
Yeah, and I think people have to make choices. You cannot compensate. I cannot say, yes, but if it's 1600 meters and there is 500 kilometer race, I will do some speed pigeons with these pigeons. Why? To have the 200 national? I don't care. I want to be first national or top 10 national. So I also don't mix these speed pigeons. If it's a 1600 meter race, then I don't care if I have the 200 national, because I can never win that day, because they with the tailwind they have advantage mathematically. So I cannot win anyway. So why would I cross?
Correct.
And let my own pigeons go worse? So I try to be even better with headwind, and you understand? So,
yeah.
And okay, sometimes you have 3-4 weeks in a row headwind, and then I'm lucky. Sometimes you have to wait some weeks, then I'm not lucky.
So to advise, very important, to select through the speed you have.
Yeah.
General speed. Not
yes.
And then wait till the condition will be well for your pigeons.
Yes.
Because we'll come at the end.
Yes.
Sometimes we have tailwind, sometimes headwind.
Yes. But of course, with the climate change,
yes.
we see that here in Belgium, more and more tough races, headwind. So for that, the climate race is perhaps not that bad. But
I just want to say this one more, because in Romania we have a big countries flying from many directions.
Yes.
Not all from the same.
Yes.
And there is area where the races are more tough, difficult, and area where the speed is higher.
Yes.
So it's a big, sometimes a big debate which pigeons are better, but I don't think it's better. Each of them are better for his conditions.
I think so too. I think you have to be honest and say, look at yourself, where do I live?
Exactly.
And if you buy then pigeons, you have to buy from people who have the same conditions,
Like you.
like me.
I always say that.
But then you don't have to mix. That doesn't. It's like compensating. It's like compensating ugly pigeons with nice pigeons. That doesn't make any sense. Just put two nice pigeons and good pigeons together then. But also, speed pigeons are.
This is not working only to the humans.
Yeah. There you
Maybe
have.
a man may take a nice woman.
Yes, like for example, I'm ugly, but my wife is very handsome, so we have beautiful kids.
Yeah. I know this. For me,
But
with
yeah,
the pigeons is not
with the
working.
pigeons that's not working. Also, they have another constitution.
Yeah.
So their wings are farther away, not strong,
Yeah.
not short forearm. So and then you have sometimes you can have good ones, but sometimes not. And I think pigeons you have to reduce the chance of getting bad pigeons. So the more you are consistent, the more chance you have to have good pigeons. You understand?
Yeah.
Also, when I race, I race all races. Also, when it's 1600 meters, I race.
Yeah.
I know I will not be the first, but okay, I race. But then my result is sometimes good, sometimes less good. But I never have a lot of pigeons early. I have early pigeons, but not all.
Yeah.
But if it's hot weather, I can have 16 birds in a row from 10 hours flight because they are the same. You understand? So they like warm weather. So yeah, you have to
Tough
choose.
conditions, yes.
So my advice would be just first you have to choose what you want, stick to that. So respect your strategy, and then invest in pigeons. That's my opinion, which are coming from a family. And not a mix of that. That's luck you buy then. But if you buy good family, but yeah, that's my opinion because I have also my family, of course. So I'm a bit predetermined, of course. And then yeah, you have to select hard.
It sure is working like that. We all know, but most of us don't do it.
No, I think people underestimate. Yeah, if you have a lot of different birds in your family, you buy a lottery ticket. It can be good,
Yes.
but the chance that you have good ones is reduced.
Mm.
That's for sure. That's like it. In the past, you named the big names some
Yeah.
minutes ago. These guys had all family, and then, like for example, the Janssens pigeons. At the end, they did so much inbred that themselves didn't play very well. But everybody who buy an inbreed Janssens and crossed it with his own good birds,
Yeah.
so to play you have to cross also sometimes, and that's difficult. But yeah, to breed inbred, for me personally, that's one of the best things to do. So that's a bit my advice. Choose your strategy, stick to that. Choose wisely what you invest in, and then you have to select very hard and also look at the wing, the muscles, and so on.
So many advices.
Yeah, sorry for that.
Thank you. No, that's very good.